Welcome to the ISO IEC 20000 Practitioner Course. And over the next 8 lectures, I'll be your guide through the practical application of the standard. If you have come from the Foundation course, congratulations. Foundation gave you knowledge of the standard. Practitioner builds on that knowledge and develops your ability to apply that to the real organizational situations. So the shift in skill is significant. The orientation tells you what the shift looks like and how to prepare for it. So in this short lecture number 1, we will cover 5 things. Why practitioner is different from foundation, the course objectives, how the 8 lectures plus back matter are structured, how to study practitioner content effectively, which is genuinely different from how you studied foundation, and the exam. There are, the exam usually has scenarios, and it would be an open book exam, and in fact will help you walk through the resources that are available for you. And take this orientation seriously. Practitioner candidates who skip orientation tend to be the ones who underestimate the work required. So few minutes well spent on this lecture is worth your journey. So let's begin. So 2 important things you would need to note before we go further. First, the prerequisites. You must hold the APMG ISO IEC 20000 certificate before you can sit the practitioner exam. APMG enforces this. You can't book practitioner without showing your foundation certificate. And it's also strongly recommended that you sit the foundation at least 2 to 4 weeks before starting the practitioner content. The foundation knowledge needs to settle. Practitioner builds on it. If your foundation knowledge is shaky, practitioner will be a bit harder. If you haven't completed foundation yet, please pause this orientation, complete foundation first, sit the examination, and then come back. Second, the difference between foundation and practitioner, the 2 columns at the bottom of the screen shows this very clearly. Foundation tested your knowledge of the standard, definitions and terminology, the structure of the service management system, and the expectation was to recall under time pressure. You had 60 minutes for 40 questions and no notes allowed. Practitioner tests something different, application of the standard to real situations, judgment on scenario-based problems, choices and trade-offs that practitioners face in real organizations. Open book reasoning at depth, 3 hours of exam, 4 detailed scenarios with part 1 of the standard available to you throughout. So the shift is from knowing the standard to applying it, and that's a meaningful step up. Don't underestimate it. Many candidates do, and that would be a bad thing not to notice the difference. Course objectives. So we have 5 practitioner level course objectives. Notice the verbs: apply, advise, plan, prepare. Practitioner is about doing, not just knowing. First, apply ISO IEC 20001 to real organizational context and scenarios. And by the end, you should be able to look at a real organization situation and identify which clauses apply, what the requirements imply, and what action would meet them. Second, advise on scope decisions include supplier-heavy and multi-party arrangements. Scope is one of the hardest topics in implementation, and we'll spend significant amount of time on it in one of the lectures. By then, you should be able to draft scope statements for complex organizational structures. Third, plan and lead a service management system implementation from gap analysis to certification. This is the headline practitioner skill. Many practitioners are consultants helping organizations through certification. Even those working internally lead implementation projects. Fourth, prepare an organization for audits and respond effectively to findings. Audits are the moments of truth. You should be able to walk a client through every stage of the audit journey: preparation, conduct, findings, corrective action, etc. Fifth, advise on tools that support service management. Modern service management systems depend on tooling. Practitioners need to advise on tool selection, configuration, and integration. We'll cover this in lecture number 8. Lecture number 9. So these 5 objectives, if you can do confidently after the course, you're ready for the practitioner exam and ready for real-world advisory work. So how is the course structured? 8 lectures plus back matter, around 30 to 40 hours of total content. Most learners spread that around 5 to 6 weeks, significantly more than foundation, both in volume and depth. Lecture 2 is Introduction and Framework, the longest single lecture, around a few hours. So set aside maybe 6 hours for video watching, learning, reading, doing questions, etc. It covers the standard, the framework, the certification scheme, and the relationship to best practices like ITIL from a practitioner perspective. Lecture number 3 is SMS clauses 4 to 7, practitioner management system layer at practitioner depth, context, leadership, planning, support, covered in the foundation, but here we focus on practitioner. Lecture 4, operations part 1, clauses 8.1 through 8.4, including service portfolio, relationship and agreement, supply and demand, the first half of the operational processes. Lecture number 5 is operations part 2, clauses 8.5 through 8.7, service design, build and transition, resolution and fulfillment, service assurance, etc. The second half of operations. And lecture 6 talks about performance evaluation and improvement, which includes clauses 9 and 10, internal audit, management review, service reporting, corrective action, and continual improvement. Lecture 7 is about applicability and scope definition, probably the most consequential lecture for real practitioner work. There are 11 detailed scope scenarios. Lecture 8 is the audit process, practical guidance on the audit preparation and response, deeper than foundation. And lecture 9 is the implementation planning and tools, the most application-focused lecture. It pulls everything together. Plus, you would have overall summary, mock exam materials, term references, etc. So these lectures kind of build on each other, so work through them in the order. So how to study practitioner content? Well, the approach is a bit different from foundation. There's less memorization and more reasoning. Number 1, apply each lecture to your own organization. As you go through, picture how the classes apply where you work. How would your organization address this? What would change? So that would be a good way to think about. Number 2, watch for practitioner cues in the narration. When I say common pitfalls or practitioner intervention or common pattern, pay attention. These are patterns, scenarios, test. The exam does not ask abstract recall. It asks what a practitioner would actually do. Number 3, get familiar with part 1 itself. You will bring it into the exam. Tab the clauses you will reference often. 8.3.3 service level management, 8.5.1 is change management, 9.2 is internal audit, etc. The exam is time pressured, so lookup time is wasted time. Number 4, practitioner scenarios thinking. So open book does not mean look up everything. You need to recognize which clauses apply to a scenario quickly, then verifying the standard. The supplementary paper has examples. Your trainer, I will kind of provide you with more examples. Number 5, read the supplementary reference paper alongside the lectures, not at the end. It's compact, well organized, and you can bring it to the exam. And number 6, sit the mock exam. First attempt under exam conditions, 3 hours, no notes, no permitted material, score honestly, and then review every wrong sub-question, and a few hours or days later, do a second attempt, and make sure that there is significant improvement. Apply these 6 and the course will be productive. And then we will kind of look a little bit into the practitioner exam. So on the left, you have the headline numbers, 4 scenario-based questions, 3 hours in total, 80 marks in total, 20 per each question. Your pass mark is 40 out of 80, which is 50%. Notice that's lower than foundation 65%, but the exam is harder, so the lower pass mark reflects that. On the right are the key facts. It's an open book exam with limited materials. You can bring in part 1 of the standard and the APMG supplementary reference paper, nothing else. No course notes, no other parts, no your own summary documents, just these 2. Now, it's an online exam, same as foundation. Most candidates sit online with a remote proctor. It's an application exam, not recall. Each scenario has multiple plausible answers. You must pick the most appropriate based on practitioner judgment informed by the standard. The prerequisite is foundation. APMG won't let you book the practitioner without your foundation certificate. There's a full about the practitioner exam guide in the resource section. Download it before you start serious preparation. It will cover timing, strategy, common scenario, themes, and what to do if you don't pass the first time. What are the resources available to you? Top left, what's in the LMS? You have the lecture videos plus back matter, the mock exam materials, including 3R scenario tests, are all available. So you can track your progress and bookmark for review. Top right, downloadable guides, the practitioner's self-paced study plan with a recommended 5 to 6 week schedule, the about the practitioner exam guide, the standard access and support guide, and the APMG supplemental reference paper. All of them are in the resource section of the LMS. Bottom left, how to get in touch. You have the email IDs there, a live chat in the LMS, and all the details pertaining to getting in touch with us. Now, on the bottom right is the strong recommendation. Strongly recommended additional material. Note the wording, strongly recommended, not optional. Practitioner candidates need ISO IEC 20000-1 2018 because you will bring it into the exam. Purchase it from the ISO at iso.org. The standard access guide explains how. Part 3 is also strongly recommended for practitioner candidates because it provides a scope guidance we will lean on heavily in lecture 2. Part 2 is guidance on application. It's useful for implementation work, but not allowed in the exam. So get the standard before you're deep into the course. It's hard to kind of study practitioner properly without it.